Today, I am going to talk about how to actually get rich in your 20s. I will use ideas from one of my favorite books called The Millionaire Fastlane, written by MJ DeMarco. This book completely changed the way I think about money and wealth, and after reading it, I realized that almost everything I was taught about getting rich was wrong. Let me start with a scenario. You are in your 20s. You just graduated from college, or maybe you are still in college. Everyone around you is giving you advice. Your parents tell you to find a good job with benefits. Your professors tell you to climb the corporate ladder. Your friends tell you to save money and invest in your retirement account. The advice sounds something like this: get a good job. Work hard for 40 years, save 10% of your income, invest in index funds, live below your means. And when you are 65 years old, you will be rich. You will finally be able to retire and enjoy your life. Here is the problem. When you are 65, you won't have the same energy. You won't have the same health. You won't be able to do the things you want to do today. By the time you have money, you won't have time. And by the time you have time, you won't have health. This is the trap that almost everyone falls into. Part 1, the Slowlane trap. The Slowlane is the traditional path to wealth that society teaches you. Go to school, get good grades, find a secure job, work for 40 years, save money, retire at 65. This sounds reasonable, right? This is what your parents did. This is what most people do. But here's the thing. The Slowlane is not actually a path to wealth. It is a path to mediocrity. Let me explain with some simple math. Imagine you get a job that pays $50,000 a year. You save 10% of your income, which is $5,000 a year. You invest this money and get an average return of 8% per year. After 40 years of working, you will have around $1.3 million. Sounds good, right? But wait, you just traded 40 years of your life for this money. You traded your 20s, you traded your 30s, you traded your 40s and 50s. By the time you have this money, you are old. Your best years are gone. And here is something even worse. That $1.3 million might not even be enough. With inflation, your money loses value every year. The cost of living keeps going up. Medical expenses keep going up. By the time you are 65, that 1.3 million might only give you a modest retirement. This is the reality of the Slowlane. You sacrifice your entire life for a mediocre outcome. DeMarco says the Slowlane is like getting on a bus that travels 5 miles per hour. Yes, you are moving forward, but you are moving so slowly that you might die before you reach your destination. And even if you do reach it, you will be too old to enjoy it. I see this all around me. I see people in their 30s and 40s who followed the Slowlane. They have good jobs, they make decent money, but they are not rich. They are stressed. They work long hours. They have mortgages. They have car payments. They have student loans. They live paycheck to paycheck even though they make $100,000 a year. They tell themselves that someday they will be rich, someday when they retire. But that someday never really comes. Part 2, why your 20s are critical. Your 20s are the most important decade of your life when it comes to building wealth. Why? Because you have something that you will never have again. You have time. You have energy. You have fewer responsibilities. Most people in their 20s don't have kids yet. They don't have a mortgage. They don't have many obligations. This is your window of opportunity. Here is what most people do in their 20s. They waste it. They follow the Slowlane advice. They get a job. They work 40 hours a week. They come home tired. They watch Netflix. They scroll on social media. They wait for the weekend. They repeat this cycle for 10 years. And then they wake up at 30 and realize they are in the same place they were at 20. Nothing has changed except they are 10 years older. I did this myself. When I was 22, I got my first job. I was excited. I thought I was on the path to success. I worked hard. I got small raises every year. I saved some money. I did everything I was supposed to do. But after 3 years, I realized something. At this rate, I would never be rich. Even if I got promoted every few years, even if I doubled my salary, I would still be trading my time for money, and there are only 24 hours in a day. This is when I discovered the Millionaire Fastlane, and everything changed. Part 3, the Fastlane system. The Fastlane is completely different from the Slowlane. In the Slowlane, you trade your time for money. In the Fastlane, you build systems that make money for you. Let me explain this with an analogy. Imagine you want to travel from New York to California. You have 2 options. Option 1 is to walk. You can walk 20 miles every day. After many years, you will eventually reach California. This is the Slowlane. It works, but it takes forever. Option 2 is to build a car. Building a car takes time and effort up front, but once you have the car, you can drive to California in a few days. This is the fast lane. Most people choose to walk because building a car seems too difficult. They don't know how to build a car. They are scared to try. so they just keep walking. They keep trading time for money. They keep hoping that if they walk long enough, they will get rich. But here's the truth. You cannot walk your way to wealth. You need a vehicle. In The Millionaire Fastlane, DeMarco explains that wealth is created through business systems, not through jobs, not through salaries, not through saving pennies. You need to build something that can make money without you being there. This is the only way to get rich in your 20s. Let me give you the wealth equation that DeMarco talks about in the book. In the Slowlane, your wealth is based on this formula. Wealth equals job plus salary plus stock market returns. In this equation, you are limited. You can only work so many hours. You can only get paid so much per hour. And stock market returns are beyond your control. But in the fast lane, the wealth equation is different. Wealth equals net profit plus asset value. In this equation, there is no limit. You can increase your net profit by serving more customers. You can increase your asset value by building a better business. You are in control. Part 4, what the fast lane actually looks like. So what does the fast lane actually look like in real life? It means building a business, but not just any business. It means building a business that follows what DeMarco calls the 5 commandments. These are the rules that separate a real fast lane business from a fake one. The first commandment is need. Your business must solve a real problem for real people. It cannot be based on what you want. It must be based on what the market wants. Most people start businesses based on their passion. They think passion is enough. But passion without need is worthless. If nobody wants what you are selling, you will not make money. It is that simple. For example, imagine you love painting. You decide to quit your job and become a painter. You spend all day painting beautiful pictures, but nobody buys them. Why? Because there is no need. People don't wake up in the morning desperate to buy your painting. Compare this to someone who starts a business fixing air conditioners. When someone's air conditioner breaks in the middle of summer, they need it fixed immediately. They will pay good money for this service. See the difference. One is based on passion. One is based on need. The second commandment is entry. Your business should have barriers to entry. If anyone can do what you do, then you will face massive competition. And massive competition means low profits. Think about driving for a ride-sharing company. Anyone with a car can do this. Because entry is so easy, millions of people do it. And because millions of people do it, the pay is very low. This is not a fast lane business. This is just another job. The third commandment is control. You must control your business. If someone else can shut you down, then you don't have a real business. For example, if you build your entire income on a social media platform, you don't have control. The platform can change its algorithm tomorrow and destroy your income. If you rely on one supplier or one customer, you don't have control. True wealth requires control. The fourth commandment is scale. Your business must be able to scale. This means it can grow without you working more hours. If you are a dentist, you can only see so many patients per day. Your income is limited by your time. But if you create a product or a software or a system that can serve millions of people, then your income is not limited. This is scale. The fifth commandment is time. Your business should detach from your time. In the beginning, you will work hard to build it, but eventually it should run without you. It should make money while you sleep. This is what DeMarco calls a money tree. You plant it and water it and take care of it. And once it grows, it produces fruit even when you are not there. Part 5, what to actually do in your 20s. So now you understand the fast lane. But what should you actually do? How do you build a fast lane business in your 20s? Let me break it down. First, stop spending time on things that don't matter. Most people in their 20s waste countless hours on entertainment, video games, Netflix, social media, partying. I am not saying never have fun, but be honest with yourself about how much time you waste. If you spend 4 hours a day on entertainment, that is 28 hours a week. That is more than a part-time job. Imagine if you spent those 28 hours building a business instead. Second, learn valuable skills. The fast lane requires skills. You need to learn how to solve problems, how to sell, how to market, how to build products, how to manage money. These are not things they teach you in school. You have to teach yourself, read books, take courses, watch videos, practice, fail, learn, repeat. Third, start building. Don't wait until you have the perfect idea. Don't wait until you have enough money. Don't wait until you feel ready. You will never feel ready. Just start. Build something. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just build something that solves a problem for someone. I started my first business when I was 24. It was not glamorous. I helped local businesses with their social media marketing. I had no idea what I was doing. I made many mistakes, but I learned more in 6 months of running that business than I learned in 4 years of college. And more importantly, I started to understand how money actually works. I realized that money is not something you get from a boss. Money is something you create by providing value. Fourth, be willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term wealth. This is hard. Everyone around you will be going out on weekends. They will be buying new cars. They will be going on vacations. You will have to say no. You will have to stay home and work on your business. You will have to drive an old car. You will have to live below your means. This is the price you pay in your 20s. But if you pay this price, your 30s and 40s will be completely different. DeMarco talks about this in the book. He says most people want to live like millionaires in their 20s and then struggle for the rest of their lives. But smart people do the opposite. They live like broke students in their 20s so they can live like millionaires for the rest of their lives. Part 6, the compound interest lie. I want to talk about something important. You have probably heard that compound interest is the secret to wealth. You have probably seen charts showing how, if you invest early, your money will grow exponentially. This is true. Compound interest is real. But here's what they don't tell you. Compound interest is painfully slow. Let me show you the math. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 25 and get 8% returns, you will have about $1.4 million at age 65. Again, this sounds good. But you just invested for 40 years. You invested a total of $240,000 of your own money, and you waited 40 years to get 1.4 million. Is this really wealth, or is this just a decent retirement? Compare this to the fast lane. If you build a business that generates $10,000 a month in profit, that is $120,000 a year. If you sell that business for 3 times annual profit, that is $360,000, and you can do this in 5 years instead of 40 years. Then you can take that $360,000 and start another business. Or invest it. Well, buy real estate. You see the difference. The Slowlane tells you to wait. The fast lane tells you to build. The Slowlane says, be patient. The fast lane says, be aggressive. The Slowlane promises wealth at 65. The fast lane delivers wealth in your 30s. Part 7, the real secret here is the real secret to getting rich in your 20s. You have to think different. Everyone around you is following the Slowlane. Your parents, your friends, your teachers, they all believe in the same system. Get a job. Save money. Retire late. This is what they know. This is what they will tell you to do. But you have to ignore them. You have to see that the system they believe in is broken. It worked for previous generations because things were different. Houses were cheaper. College was cheaper. A job could support a family. But things have changed. The Slowlane doesn't work anymore. The costs keep going up. The salaries stay the same. Inflation eats your savings. You cannot save your way to wealth anymore. The only way to get rich is to build. You have to create value. You have to solve problems. You have to build systems. This is what DeMarco teaches in the Millionaire Fastlane. And this is what actually works. I am not saying it is easy. Building a business is hard. It takes work. It takes time. It takes sacrifice. You will fail many times before you succeed. But the alternative is worse. The alternative is spending your entire life working for someone else, trading your time for money, hoping that someday you will have enough. That is not a life. That is a prison. Your 20s are your chance to break free. You have energy. You have time. You have nothing to lose. If you fail, you can try again. If you fail 10 times, you can try an 11th time. You are young enough to take risks. You are young enough to recover from mistakes, but you won't be young forever. Every year that passes is a year you cannot get back. Part 8, take action now. So what should you do right now after reading this? First, read The Millionaire Fastlane if you haven't already. It will change the way you think about money. Second, look at your current situation honestly. Are you on the Slowlane or the fast lane? If you have a job and that is your only source of income, you are on the Slowlane. This is not bad. Everyone starts there, but you need to start building your exit plan. Third, find a problem that people actually have, not a problem you think they have. A real problem that they are willing to pay to solve. Talk to people. Ask questions. Listen. Find out what frustrates them, what wastes their time, what costs them money. Then build a solution. Fourth, start small. You don't need $1 million idea. You need a $10 idea that you can sell to 100,000 people. Or a $100 idea that you can sell to 10,000 people. Start with something simple. Test it. See if people will pay for it. If they do, make it better. If they don't, try something else. Fifth, be patient with the process, but impatient with action. Building a fast lane business takes time. It might take 2 years. It might take 5 years. But during that time, you need to be taking massive action. Working every day. Learning every day. Building every day. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions never come. Start with what you have. Start where you are. I know this is different from what everyone else is telling you. Everyone else is telling you to be realistic, to be practical, to get a safe job. But being realistic is what keeps people poor. Being practical is what keeps people stuck. The people who get rich are the ones who are unrealistic, the ones who refuse to accept the slough lane, the ones who believe they can build something bigger. You are in your 20s right now. You have a choice. You can follow the crowd and end up like everyone else, working until you are old, hoping you saved enough. Or you can take a different path. You can build something. You can create value. You can get rich while you are still young enough to enjoy it. The Millionaire Fastlane showed me that wealth is not about luck. It is not about having rich parents. It is not about winning the lottery. It is about building systems. It is about creating value. It is about solving problems. Anyone can do this, including you. But you have to start. You have to take action. You have to commit. Your 20s will pass whether you build something or not. 10 years from now, you will be in your 30s. The only question is, what will you have built during that time? Will you have spent 10 years working for someone else? Or will you have spent 10 years building your own wealth? The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Start today. Today.